Okay, it's 2 p.m. now. Shall we begin? Let me see who else is not in yet. Lynn is not in yet. Okay, we start slow. Maybe like yesterday, she was a bit late. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Art of Maneuvering 2, Lesson 2. Right? So, Lynn, if you're asking Tao Te Ching lesson when, I'm planning next year. Right? Because this year my schedule is already left half a year, it's fully packed already. But next year, I've still something that I need to wrap up before I can launch the Tao Te Ching program. Right? So okay, so back to this AOM2. Welcome to this AOM2. Let me go to my slides. Okay, yesterday we completed the first part, which is the second wave, and up to hexagram 24, right? Up to hexagram 24, which is 地雷赋 rekindling. So you see that yesterday's lesson, actually, we went through one cycle like what we did in AOM1, the up and the down, and then finally recovering. Okay, so that's why we ended in hexagram 24, 地雷赋. So today, this lesson, the second part of the lesson, we will touch on the next wave, which is getting exponential, right? So if you can survive 2 times of wave, so therefore you deserve to go up to the next level. So that's why in today's lesson, we will talk about the subsequent hexagram, how we can leverage on making the right move to bring us up to the next frequency band. Yeah. Okay, so what we'll be talking today is module 3 and 4. Module 3 is living right and bright. Okay, and module 4 is the next frequency band where we want to grow. Yeah, so it can be talking about your business growth, it can be talking about your personal growth as well, right? So whatever it is, including career growth, whatever it is, if you follow this I Ching and this Xu Gua Zhuan to guide you to each step of the way, I'm sure all of us can go up to the next frequency band. Yeah. So without much ado, are you ready to get started? Type a yes in the chat box if you are. Thank you, Eve. All right. So yesterday we ended here. It says the quality of your rekindling, which is hexagram 24, will depends very much on how you leverage on peeling, which is hexagram 23 that comes before it. Right? So this is very important. It's like, let me recap again because this is so important. It's like yesterday I draw one circle, right? Which is the cycle going up and coming down. So all of us will go through this up and down in life. So as we go up, I Ching is telling us don't be complacent, don't be arrogant, don't be too proud, don't be at the ivory tower there, you know. And in hexagram 11, it also says that an puwang way. That means during peacetime, don't forget about imminent danger, right? So do what you can to be resilient, to be prepared, right? So, but on your way down, don't despair also. Don't allow yourself to go into that despair mode and then go down the spiral, right? So what we should do is we should have hoped in peeling, right? Santi Po, preserve the last yang. The last yang could be the hope that you have, could be the last resources that you have. Whatever that you have, hold on to it, preserve it, prepare yourself, okay, so that you are ready when the next wave of upswing comes along. We don't want to be caught by surprise to say that no, when the time to come with the upswing, we are not ready. We don't know what we want to do. So this is not the right way. Yeah. Okay, so with this, then we move on to the module 3 proper, living right and bright. Now, the next hexagram, hexagram 25, without embroiling, in Chinese is called 天雷无妄. 天雷无妄, you can see that, let me go to my next slides. Why 天雷无妄, hexagram 25 comes after 地雷赋? I think the reason is very simple. The logic is also very simple and logical also. Is that now you have a second chance to come back. Remember in the first wave, um, hexagram 11, which is the Tai Gua, and then followed by the hexagram 12, which is the Pi Gua. And we recovered from there, right? And then in the second wave, we hit upon hexagram 23, which is the Po Gua. And then we recover from there based on hexagram 24, Di Lei Fu Gua. So when we have a second chance, then this time around, we must make sure that when we progress forward, we must remind ourselves progress with care. Okay, progress with care. Why? Because hexagram 25 is made up of, on top is a qian gua. Qian gua can mean a metal. Okay, metal could be something like an axe or a knife or a kitchen knife and things like that, but it's a metal. Below is a wood, and this wood is not any other wood, it's a zhen gua. And zhen gua basically means it's like seed sprouting out. Okay, seed sprouting out like this one. So when it's seed sprouting out, it denotes, like, for example, a second chance of growth, right? So this time round, just be careful because you may be too anxious to want to, reach back where you have reached before. Okay. And in your anxious way of growing, you may be doing all the wrong thing. So here, Tianlei Wu Wang is actually reminding us, as you have a go at the second chance, as you grow carefully. Take each step with care because there is a X waiting there. You see the Qian Gua, there's no arrow at all. Okay, there's no arrow at all. So the X is there waiting. It's not coming down, it's not going up, but it's there at a certain height waiting. So for the sprouting, this plant is growing. See with the arrow here going up, right? So it's growing up. And if we go up to in a rush way, then we might hit upon this X and get chopped. Simply put, you get derailed again. Okay, so don't fall into the trapdoor of premature derailment the second time round. Right, so this is exactly what it means by Tian Lei Wu Wang, or without embroiling. Even without getting into any embroilment, you get chopped, you get derailed, or for nothing. That's why in Chinese called Tian Lei Wu Wang means Wu Wang Zhi Zai Bo Dai Bo Ji Gena. Right, so we don't want that because the experience and the feeling of being hit with a 无妄之灾 is really in Hokkien called 爱玩. Okay, let's if it's asking, but 无望 also means no hope, right? You can say that if you want to go with that rhyme, 无望没有希望, okay, that 望 you can go for that in terms of prediction. Okay, in terms of prediction. But 无望 I Ching will never give you no hope, that kind. Okay, I Ching will never give you that kind of no hope because there are a lot of opportunity to have no hope. Like Pi Gua is no hope already. Bo Gua is like no hope. But I Ching never said no hope. I Ching says if you what do you call that? Take the steps of what the I Ching is advising us, we will see light at the end of the tunnel. Is that okay? If so, Wu Wang doesn't mean no hope. Wu Wang is saying that situation can be very bad if you make the wrong move. But that doesn't mean that is completely no hope. Is that okay? If okay, now I show you two row here. This is row number 1. Bottom is row number 2. In the AOM 1, we talk about 乾卦, hexagram 1, hexagram 2, and we say that when 1 and 2 come together and if they successfully mated with each other, then we can open the door of 易经, 易之门. Okay, and what happens behind what actually comes out from behind the door are the 62 hexagram, the children hexagram. Okay, so but the next one is hexagram 3, which is 水雷尊. Okay, 水雷尊. Now if you look closely at 水雷尊, a revision for you, it is a 正卦 below, 坎卦 on top. Okay, 正卦 below, 坎卦 on top. So 坎卦 we know it can means danger, and this danger is coming down. 正卦 is like this sprouting, growing upward. So the difference between 3 and 25 lies here. 3, danger is coming to you. That means the moment you start something, you can expect danger to come to you. Just like the very first time you ride a bicycle, there's a danger of you falling off. Okay, so there's a danger, a real danger that you're going to fall off, right? So this danger is going to come to you, but at the same time, this danger, being water, is strengthening the wood, which is the 正卦. So this danger can be a two-sided thing. It can come to you as a challenge, but if you brave through the challenge, learn through the challenge, okay, and take on the lessons, then you will become stronger after that. Okay, so 水雷尊, the key essence lies here, right? But for 天雷无妄, the bottom row, we went through the 皮卦, and from not the 皮卦, we went through the 帛卦, 三地帛, 帛卦, last battery, and then we managed to survive, we managed to turn around, so we have the rekindling, the 地雷复. Okay, so 地雷复, and then the problem is after 24, just like after you open the door here, right? We encounter 3. So after you come back again after the 地雷复, it comes to 25. It looks similar to hexagram 3, but the only difference is on top, instead of water, is a full metal. And this full metal is not moving anywhere. It's just at that certain height waiting for you. Okay, so if you make your move correctly, this metal is inconsequential. That means it's not a big deal at all. But if you anyhow make your move, then expect to meet this metal and to be chopped and get derailed. So that is the key difference between sprouting and 无望. Although both row 1 and row 2, it seems to indicate that we open up a new door again and we have a chance of coming back again. But the chance of coming back and how you should move and what you can be expecting is different in both scenarios. Can you follow me here? Right? So I give you real life examples of 无望. Okay, 无望 anyhow make the move and therefore get premature derailment. Number 1, I've shown you this slide yesterday about the shortest serving cabinet minister in Singapore, right? I think she was just a 2 months old cabinet minister. Okay, assume the role. 2 months later, got to step down. Why? What happened to her? I think yesterday I've explained already. Because of a handshake. Okay, and handshake. And I will explain in the 观卦, viewing 卦. Okay, that if you decide to walk the ground, please remind yourself you are being watched carefully. Right? So whatever you do actually is in the microscopic lens of all the people surrounding you. Okay, so just be careful of that. Next, UK PM Liz Truss was also one of the shortest serving prime minister. That's merely a mere 45-day service, right? And then she has to step down, right? Because she did the wrong move. She made the wrong move. She made the wrong choice of moves. So therefore, she met the matter and the matter chopped her away, chopped her growth, and she got derailed straight away. Can you think of any other examples that you come across that you know of? Feel free to type in the chat box to share with the class. All right. Next, yesterday I also showed you this qua, right? This qua is asking about whether, this was casted in 2021, whether SG will go into second circuit breaker, and the qua was 天雷无望风三剑火雷四克. So the 无望 is here. This is hexagram 25. Okay, so having learned what I've told you just now, Now type in the chat box if the question is if will SG go into second circuit breaker and there's a 天雷无望 in the chart, how would you explain? How would you interpret this hexagram 天雷无望? Type in the chat box. Type your best answers that you think it is in the chat box. How you interpret 天雷无望 with regards to the question, will SG go into second circuit breaker? What do you think? Relate back to what I said just now. Okay, Lynn, good afternoon. So when you join, where was I on this hexagram? Did you miss it totally? Okay, this page, so you did not hear what I say just now. Never mind, we are not done with this hexagram yet. So no worries, no worries. So I won't be expecting an answer for you. You just have to listen to me. Maybe after that, you can watch back the video, yeah? Okay, so now, just now I was explaining, 天雷无望 means we have a second chance of coming back. Not wrong. After 地雷复, hexagram 24, this is 25, 24, we have a 地雷复, we have a second chance of coming back. And this time around, this coming back, when we want to move forward, we have to move with care, right? Because there is a matter waiting for us. The 乾卦 is waiting for us. Okay, so we should move with care. Whatever we do, whatever decision we make, we must move with care, or otherwise we will have, we might undo whatever we have done. So for this question, SG will go into second circuit breaker or not, and we have a 天雷无望. Basically means the government this time around has to be very, very, very careful before deciding to go into a CB, a second CB. Why? Because the implication is very wide. Am I right to say that? Everybody got to stay at home. All the shop got to close. No interaction, no face-to-face. So the implication is very wide. So this time around, when they want to go into second circuit breaker, they got to think twice, they got to think thrice. So basically, this 1001 is a very stark reminder to the government to say that, hey, you better think twice or twice before you go into second circuit breaker. Or otherwise, you will undo a lot of things. So therefore, the best guess, that's why I put it, my answers here, my best answer is, I think they won't call it CB because by definition, CB means everybody stay at home. Okay, so they will put in restriction, no doubt. Because things has worsened, they'll put in restriction, but they won't call it CB by definition. They will just put in added measure, right? But they won't still call it CB. But the added measure are as good as CB lah. Okay, but the fact that it's not CB means we still can have small group, maybe a dinner to a max of 5 person, something like that. Okay, something like that. So this is one way, one way of deciphering 易经 prediction 卦 based on AOM information. Yesterday we talked about 火雷四克 also. Okay, 火雷四克 means, I think I use an analogy to explain to you about the abalone and the fishbone. Right, so when you are in that situation, should you throw out the everything, or should you try to preserve the abalone but just find the fishbone, or you just swallow everything? So same thing, if let's say 无望, we did wrongly, the government did make a wrong choice, we might end up in 火雷四克, don't know what to do next. Either option is not good. You get my point? All right. Okay, so 天雷无望, if you get a 天雷无望, basically it means avoid unexpected disaster or misfortune. Try to avoid, because it's in Chinese it's called not in Chinese, in Hokkien it's called 无代无志跟那. So we want to avoid that mishaps. How to avoid? Basically, very easy. I Ching has this advice for us. It says, 不妄念,不妄行,不妄语. 不妄 means don't anyhow think. 不妄念 means don't anyhow think or avoid dishonest intention or thoughts or thinking Okay, 不妄行 means avoid dishonest action. Don't anyhow move. Don't anyhow do something or do something illegally or not legitimate. Okay, so it is called 不妄行 or 不妄语. 不妄语 means don't anyhow talk. Avoid dishonest words or speech. Okay, so these three, 不妄念,不妄行,不妄语. Remember, you have a second chance of coming back, so don't waste the chance again. So I Ching, I think, is very kind. Give us this gentle reminder how to avoid 无妄之灾 is 不妄念,不妄行,不妄语. Basically, what it means, don't take dishonest shortcut. Am I right to say that? Don't take dishonest shortcut. 老老实实,脚踏实地,一步一步的走. I think this is common sense already lah. So why people want to get why people want to try take dishonest shortcut or have dishonest thinking or intention or take dishonest action or say dishonest words is because they have this attachment of wanting to come back strong again and fast. Okay, not only strong but fast, right? So therefore they have this kind of attachment to the outcome, to the desired outcome, which I Ching says based on this hexagram 25, 无妄, he said never get too attached to anything, especially to the outcome or to the desire. Okay, attachment leads to expectation. Am I correct to say that? If you expect yourself, if you attach to the outcome to say that I've done this before, I know I can do this, I want to come back even stronger and I want to come back fast. You have the attachment and that creates the expectation. And because you have that expectation, it becomes a huge desire that to achieve that. And the fastest way to achieve that is taking dishonest shortcut, for example. So you're so tempted to take dishonest shortcut, and when things fail, it leads to huge disappointment. So basically, I Ching says, then don't attach. Don't, in Chinese, it's called 执念, right? 执念, 不要有太多的执念. Can you follow me? Now, in first gear to fifth and in the power intention class, thanks, Lin, in these both programs, I've shown you this chart before. Okay, and this is a very powerful chart because this is the 5-element energy flow chart, right? But of course, I have remodified the 5-element flow chart to show you in the layman way. And the layman way is actually saying everything's your energy, okay, goes round and round and round in a cycle. And in layman way, it starts from, actually there's no starting point because it is a vicious cycle. But let me just arbitrarily use perception as a starting point to explain. So everything comes from perception. You have a perception, you have based on your belief system and things like that, you have a perception of certain things. And in AOM1, I already mentioned before, your perception will always comes from a reference frame that you use. So when we see things, we always use a certain lens to see things. And through that lens, whatever we picked up from that lens, that forms our perception. Okay. And then the perception will mold your thoughts. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, lousy thoughts, dishonest thoughts, dirty thoughts, whatever thoughts. All this comes from perception. And all these, if it's unhealthy thoughts, it is called 妄念. 妄念. I Ching says, based on hexagram 25, 不妄念. If you have dishonest thoughts, discard. Okay, discard. Don't entertain the dishonest thought, right? Why? Because if you have dishonest thoughts and you entertain the dishonest thoughts, it will lead to certain feeling. Because you are so attached to the outcome and you have the kind of desire and expectation to be successful again and in the fastest possible time, then your feeling must be the kind of say, wow, I must do it, I must do it. Okay. So the feeling, I always explain here, is that feeling is the point of no return. You must always guard this feeling. Okay, this is the floodgate here. The moment you allow feeling to flow out, it will convert or transmute into action energy. Either action energy, action can be formed, comes in the form of activities or speeches or words or sentences. And therefore, the 妄行妄语 comes here. And all because of your 妄念. So it's all interrelated. It's a transmutation of energy, basically, right? So the best thing is 不妄念. If you can handle this 不妄念, I think you are quite safe with regards to 不妄行,不妄语. But here, if you cannot handle, then you have to jaga your floodgate here, your feeling, so that it won't come out as action. Action can come in the form of activities or speeches. Because whatever that's flow out from this floodgate, it's just like water that you pour out, you cannot take back already. 泼出去的水收不回了。It's done deal already. It's done deal. Okay, and then it will just go back and reinforce your perception, and then your perception will reinforce your thoughts, and so on and so forth. It become a vicious cycle. Okay, and a lot of people encounter 无妄之灾 is because of this. Right. So 卦辞, let's take a look at 卦辞 regarding 天雷无妄. Okay. 天雷无妄 it says here 卦辞啊，元亨利贞 A. 乾卦 it says 元亨利贞 which is fine. Just plain 元亨利贞. But in the 天雷无妄 there's also 元亨利贞 but it's a qualified 元亨利贞. What is the qualification? It says that if you want 元亨利贞 then you must be able to fulfill this. Okay, it says here, 其非正有神.神 basically means man-made disasters, means mishaps lah. Okay, 其非 means illegal, 非法. Okay, 非 means 非法. Okay, so 其非正有神 means if you do illegal thing or illegitimate things, then you can expect mishap to come in. 神 means man-made disaster lah. And if you take on this role, it says that 不利有攸往. 不利有攸往 means don't proceed. If you have a second chance at coming back and you're tempted or people tempt you to take the dishonest shortcut, say that, hey, one trip, you carry this drug overseas, or you 翻身了. Okay, now this is 非, 其非正有神 means if you do that, okay, you're going to cause man-made disasters, and then it's better that you don't proceed. And if you don't proceed, then 元亨利贞. Can follow? So this is how we should interpret this 卦辞. So I think it's very clear cut. 3 sentences like that, and it explain everything about 无妄, how to avoid 无妄 means don't take this on a shortcut. 不妄念, 不妄语, 不妄行. Now, sometimes as human we err. As human we could be distracted. As human we could be tempted. It's natural. Okay, it's very natural. That's why this 地雷赋 has got 24 inside there. I think yesterday, if you could recall, there is a word called 不远赋. 不远赋. Okay, if say, but master, if we are going to do something good, yet 无妄, how go along? Okay, go along with it. That's why I say don't attach, because you attach too much. So when things doesn't turn out the way you want, you call it 无妄. Okay, you call it 无妄. If I have no attachment, then whatever happened that is not going with what you want, then I'll say that, hey, to me, if I don't have attachment, I say that, okay, Lord, this is just an event that happened that doesn't go my way. Full stop. So to me, it won't be a 无妄. Right? So yes, even though it's something good, yet it can get 无妄. How? From POI perspective, power of intention perspective. Now, when you hit upon obstacle like a 无妄, okay, Let me interpret this to you. What is Wu Wang and what is universe trying to tell you? Okay, universe basically is trying to tell you don't go that way. Okay, don't go that way, and it's trying to redirect you to the right path. This is how I would interpret Wu Wang if it happens to me. Can you get that? If okay, back to this slide. So, like I say, we could be tempted. We, could be distracted. We, to take the dishonest shortcut. So that's why in 地雷富 there is a 3 word here say 不远富. Okay, 不远富 means you can be tempted, you can be distracted, but the moment you realize that you are on the wrong track, you turn as early as you could. It's called U-turn. Okay. You say, but is something good? Also, don't go ahead. Yes, you won't know until you reach the end whether that thing is good, no good. You know, that's right. Despite no attachment, yes, because have faith that universe is making the best possible outcome for you. And why there's Wu Wang is because sometimes, and a lot of times, I would say a lot of times that I observe, is that the universe has given you whispers. You choose to ignore the whispers. And therefore, no choice, got to give you a very big kick in the butt in the form of Wu Wang. Lin say, I don't understand how this link to hexagram 23, 24. Very simple. 23 means you go all the way down to the valley. 24 means the second spring has come. When the second spring comes, what would you naturally do, Lin? When you hit rock bottom and when there's a second chance for you to climb up again, what would you do? Would you give up the opportunity? Or would you grab the opportunity and chong? Right? You will grab the opportunity, thank you. And will you chong? Because you say, oh, I don't have another 10 years or 12 years to wait. This is maybe the last opportunity. I better chong. So hexagram 25 is to tell you, Zotomate. You know what's Zotomate? Hold your horses, don't chong first, slowly. Why? Because you may hit upon Wu Wang Zizai. Can you follow now? Okay, so one leads to another. Okay, thank you, Lin. Right, so remember, if you have a second coming, don't chong. This second coming and the Zunqua that I mentioned just now is a different growth. Okay. Now, Wu Wang, in today's context, in today's society, you see a lot of Wu Wang Zizai. You see a lot of Wu Wang Zizai. Why? Because with technology advancement, this hexagram 25 can be seen everywhere. Can be seen everywhere. Why? Because 天雷无妄 is like 天下雷行, right? 天下雷行. 天, right? Wrong. 天, this is the 天, 天下雷. 天下面有雷, 雷在行. You see, it's like lightning like that. Okay, lightning like that. So what happens if you're outside, you encounter a condition like this, that the whole sky is having lightning down in your vicinity? You siam, right? You siam. So scary, right? Okay, if you are in that on the ground in the vicinity where there's a lot of lightning strikes there, you try to siam. This is 天雷无妄,天下雷行. Okay, we must always remind ourselves it's like 天下雷行, that there's lightning bolt everywhere where we walk. Okay, why I say in current context and in the today's society this is so prevalent, is because you are being watched. It's because you are being watched every moment. Every moment. Do you agree with me? You are being watched every moment. By who? By anyone in the street. Okay, by anyone in the street. Yes, last time we also being watched, but last time, even though we are being watched, those observers, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't take a picture of you. They couldn't take a video of you. They couldn't upload to YouTube. They couldn't upload to Facebook. But now, anyone can. Even Ajuma also can. Okay, so, all right. So just be careful. We in today's context, 天的无望 is almost everywhere already. Or botai boji kena, you see your face in the Facebook and people say something nasty about you, about what you do. Never give way to old lady. Like that, 无望. Okay. So for Jack Ma, yesterday I brought up his case study. So for Jack Ma, you know, what if Jack Ma has not made a series of brash comments condemning the current banking regulation in China? What would have happened if he has not made those things, those blunders? Type in the chat box your best guess. Type in the chat box your best guess. What if Jack Ma has not made that blunder? Where would he be today? Your best guess. Still in exile? Now, based on I Ching, actually we could briefly predict based on I Ching. If he could have survived through this, he has not made this blunder, and he has survived through this Wang, hexagram 25, he would have reached hexagram 26 safely. Safely, I say safely. Yeah? And what is hexagram 26? Is this 三天大序, great accumulation. If you have not made that blunder, N's group could have already gone ahead with the IPO, and now he should be a very happy man, okay, and enjoying even greater accumulation than he already had. Right, so that leads us to hexagram 26, 三天大序, great accumulation. I'm sure everybody likes great accumulation. This name sounds good, right? Sounds good, sounds auspicious, and things like that. But I Ching always has a way to trick us, which means that whenever the hexagram name is very auspicious, I Ching will always plant in a gentle reminder, meaning there's always a trapdoor behind all of the auspicious hexagram name. Remember that, Remember that. Okay, so like abundance lah, what do you call that? Unshakable lah, 地天泰 lah, abundance, great accumulation, great possession. All these has trapdoors that we should take note of, and I Ching has kindly included that in the I Ching book. Okay, so let us explore hexagram 26. Now, 三天大序 is here. Okay. Now, before you can become 大序, you must start from somewhere, unless you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Okay. So if say, so master, we always need to see the next gua from the gua we get. I would advise you to see the gua before and the gua after. Why? Why would I want to advise that? Anybody want to help out? Why do you think I would advise you to look at the gua before and look at the gua after? More info. Very good. More info. And what kind of more info, that is useful? Lin said it would indicate preceding actions and forecast on next. Very good. Thank you very much. You got that. You got that. So make full use of this Xu Gua Zhuan. Is if you look at the Gua before, it will briefly tell you how did you ever get to this situation today. You get my point? How do you ever get to this situation today that you need to cast a Gua? Okay, so that tells you the the cause. Okay, the cause. What caused you to be here today, right? And then the next hexagram actually basically tells you if you continue what you're doing, what can you expect? You get my point? Okay, so it gives you the 前因后果. And with that, you put in a bit of 思考 a bit, think through a bit, then that will help you make your next best move in life. Okay, thank you. This is an insightful revelation. Yes, indeed, that's how powerful I Ching can be if you know how to use it. Use it to your advantage. So yeah. So just now, if question whether should look at the next one, I would say my advice is look at the one before and look at the one after. Okay, then you have a more complete picture. Can do that? Do that. When you're able to do that, I'm sure your understanding of I Ching will escalate to the next frequency band. Okay, so much better than many other I Ching practitioners. Okay, Lin say, but you link it up so well. Not sure if we can do it on our own. Haha. Okay, now why I could do it? I'm not saying that I can do it very well, but adequately well, is because I've been practicing. I've been practicing. Okay. And one good thing about it is because I do this as a living, as a profession. So I have plenty of chances to be exposed to such thing and plenty of chances to practice on this. So therefore, when I teach in class, I can do it without thinking much. Okay, because it becomes second nature. You can do it too. You can do it too. Yeah. Okay. So next, if you think you can't do it that well on your own, it is normal. You just need more practice. Now, if you have joined the community platform, you can join the chat group, one of the chat group called Art of Maneuvering. If you have question like this, if you have case study like this, throw it into the chat group and see what's the response. Okay, what's the response? I check the chat group every day. So far nobody participated. Yeah. So Lin say I keep flipping back and forth trying to catch up how the story unfolds. Now, if you want to be good at knowing how the story unfolds, it is always good if you have a little bit of life experience. That means you have gone through certain things, or you have seen how other people gone through certain challenges in life, and you take in the lessons. That is also another way, faster way to help you catch on how the story can unfold. Okay, so if you have gone through this, when you look back, for example, when I say certain things, right, and you have gone through those things, you can resonate very strongly. Am I correct to say that? Okay, but if you have not gone through, and when I explain certain new thing to you, you may say, "Sure, man, can like that, man." I don't think it can be like that. If you've not gone through, you cannot resonate. But if you have gone through, I'm sure you will resonate very strongly with me. Okay, so Lin said you have a big chart of the hexagram, right? Big chart means what? What is a big chart of the hexagram? If say this is the issue lah, haha. Yeah, I have created a community for you, so make full use of the community. An overview of the hexagram, a poster. I mean, no, I don't have a poster. I don't have a poster, but you can create your own poster. Like say, I've made a cards, the I Ching cards, which is what you're seeing here. The design is what you're seeing here. I use it in the slides as well. And in the past, I always every morning I'll just take out one card and practice lah. And at the same time, I say this card, if it represent my day today, how would my day be? Something like that. Okay, Ken, let's move on. So participate in the community chat group lah. Throw in your case study, throw in your question. Lin say, okay, we buy the cards from you. Can. Yes, can. I still have stocks. Right? So the design is exactly like what you see here. Okay. Let me see. Do I have it here? Maybe after the break, I'll show you. Yeah. If say the cards are very powerful, you will love it. Thank you, Eve. I know you are using it every day. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. So the cards are designed in such a way that you can tell the before. Okay, the before and the flip. Right. Later after the break, I'll bring on the cards and I'll show you. Okay. Next, 3天大序. When there is a 大序, there's always a 小序. When there is a 大过, there's always a 小过. This is how I Ching organizes itself. Okay, when there's something 大, there's always something 小. Right? So basically, if you want to get to 大序, you must first work on your 小序. 小序 means small accumulation, and then that is what we have covered in AOM1. Okay, 小序. And once you have attained certain kind of 小序 safely, That's where you can get to enjoy the hexagram 11, the 地天泰. Okay, because why? 小序 is 9 ma, Once you get through 9, you get through 10. After that, next one is 11. 11 means 地天泰, unshakable already. Okay, so same thing here, 大序. If you can get through the 无望, you clear all the hurdle, you bypass the X. That's why you deserve the 大序. And what is 大序 about? Let me move on to my next slides. Can you see the video here? The video running? This is called 大序. Wait, some more. Okay, based on this video, tell me your insights. What is this video trying to tell you? Or what do you get out of this video? You see, bottom is money, right? Stack of money is 钱卦 ma, money. Okay, and on top is stop, stop, stop. It's actually 艮卦, right? Telling you to stop. What is there any insights that you can get from here? This video. Try out. What is this hexagram trying to tell you? And the best way to explain to you is this video already. Lin say, wow, okay. If say earn enough, must stop. Haha. Thank you very much. Lin say, don't be too greedy. Thank you very much. Why leh? Why earn enough must stop? Or Lin say, don't be too greedy. Why leh? So remember this, I Ching never say you cannot be wealthy. I Ching never say that you shouldn't accumulate wealth. Never, never. Okay, but it comes in with gentle reminder say that you can accumulate, but then you must know when is enough. Don't be too greedy. Why? Yes, thank you. Use it for good. Thank you. But why we shouldn't be too greedy? Yesterday, I mentioned a Chinese proverb, if you could recall. Lindsay, blinded by wealth, one's value will be eroded. Thank you. Remember yesterday I talked about anything that is sharp will be blunted naturally. Remember I mentioned that? I say, if you have children in your house, small children in your house, and you have table that has sharp corner, you tend want to put a rubber or whatever to round it off. Okay, so it happens in the natural world as well. Anyone who is too sharp will be blunted. Blunted means shave off so that it won't be that sharp. Okay, so therefore, when you accumulate a lot of wealth, power, status, whatever, you must know when to stop. Why? Because if you accumulate so much, people see that you are so sharp, they will do something to blunt you. Okay, if nobody blunt you, 天会收你。Okay, 天会收你，天会收你 not take you away lah, but will try to shave off your sharpness. How to shave off? Maybe 给你一个破财 maybe give you a 破财 Okay, something happened, therefore you got to spend away your money. Okay, but maybe something happened and therefore makes you need to retire early. Okay, something like that. Warren Buffett, good example. Warren Buffett, he has been giving out also. That's why you see a lot of rich people, wealthy people, they do charity. They do charity. Am I correct to say that? Okay. They do donation, they do charity, they build schools, they build this, they build that. Is why their thinking is, I think they have the right thought is, I don't want to wait until the universe say I'm too sharp and come in to shave me off. Let me shave myself voluntarily. Get my point, yeah? So Lin say, yes, sometimes I suspect they know they will lose wealth if they don't contribute. Exactly. So they shave off themselves automatically, voluntarily. And they don't want to wait until that moment whereby universe say that, no, you have exceeded your time already. I should shave you off already. No, they won't wait. Okay, that's why this is a common practice among all the wealthy people. You can go and observe lah. All the wealthy people, they tend to contribute in some ways lah. So Yi Jing already say very clearly already. So in the 断词 here, okay, I will spare you all these things lah. But 断词 here it says that 立色大川应乎天也. 立色大川 means you want to earn enough money, you want to accumulate wealth, go ahead. Just take note that is something called the 应乎天也. 应乎天也 means there is a natural way of things that's being done in this natural world. Like, for example, this glass of water here. You can accumulate as much water as you want. Up to you. Okay, up to you. But when you come to a point, when you reach to the brim, if you want to pour some more, the very natural way, the water will spill out. It's very natural way. So imagine this is you, the glass is you. You keep on accumulating. Up to a point, you will just spill out automatically. So rather spill out automatically, you might as well voluntarily spill out, right? Okay. So Lin say a lot of rich people establish trust fund to education and hospital. Exactly. Now you know why they do what they do. Okay. So if say rich people believe law of attraction, the more they give, more will return. Yes, it's also in Yi Jing, the 损卦, Yi Gua. Okay, 损卦, Yi Gua. All right. So we'll talk about that now. So everything that we know of people doing can be explained in this Yi Jing. And some of them are doing very well. Okay, they are following the teaching of Yi Jing. And one of them that I know is actually the Hong Kong property tycoon, Li Jiachen. Lin say, how do I know the name of each hex, the short form? You just, like I say, how I do it, I share with you how I do it. Many people have different way of doing things. Is remember the card? Every day I'll just pluck out one card and I'll examine the card and I say why, what is this name of the card and what this hexagram is trying to tell me and things like that. Okay, use the last word. Yes, use the last word. For example, the first two. Let's say talk about this hexagram here. 风天小旭. The 风天 basically is telling us what forms this hexagram. 风卦 and 乾卦. 风天, then behind 小旭 is the name of the hexagram. Same thing here. 山 is this 艮卦. 天 is this 乾卦. So it's 山天大旭. 地天太. 地 is this one. 天 is this one. And then the name of the hexagram called Tai. Same thing with this one, last one. Tian is on top, Di is below. Then the whole thing together is called Pi Gua. Okay, yes, it's the last word or the last two words. Okay, the first two character is always denoting what is the upper trigram, what is the lower trigram. So Lin say, what is the symbolic meaning of mountain above sky? Mountain above sky. 三天大旭 right? We also have sky above mountain, 天山遁 Okay, we'll talk about the 天山遁 later. Now talk about 三天大旭 first. The sky, no, the mountain over sky. Wait, I'm not done with this one. What is it that you don't understand, Lin? Could you rephrase your question? Okay, here. Let's while you type, listen to me. Okay, here. Just now we talk about if you want to have great accumulation, you must work on your small accumulation. That means you gotta start from somewhere. Right today, if you want to be wealthy, have you been how have you been working your money? Have you been putting in saving, or have you been putting aside money for investment and things like that? How are you growing your money? Okay, so you must have a system for you to have small growth first, and that small growth over a period of time will grow into 大序. Okay, and once you have 大序, then you can experience 地天泰, unshakable. But the moment you hit 地天泰in AOM1, I say that the moment you hit 11, 12 is just next door. So the thing that you need to do in 11 is to prolong Tai and remove P. Okay. Lin is saying, I cannot visualize or relate to it. So, 大旭 is mountain. 大旭 is not mountain. 大旭 comes about if you put a mountain and on top of a 乾卦. If you put a mountain on top of water, this is called learning. It's just like if you put a monitor on top of a CPU, you got something called computer. Get my point? Okay. So this means the wealth has accumulated to mountain, right? Now, I think I get where you're coming from already. Yes, it is actually telling you there is so much space here, right? You can actually accumulate your wealth into this space here. That's called accumulation. Now look at 小旭. How much space you have? Only this space. So you can only accumulate that much of money into this small space. Moreover, 巽卦, the arrow is coming down. So therefore, the space will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And when it gets smaller and smaller, how much can you really save? Very little. That's why it's called small 小旭, small accumulation. 艮卦 not only has double the space is actually growing, expanding. So the more you save, the more you can save because the space will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So Lin say, oh, okay. I interpret the meaning from the Gua itself by trying to understand what each Gua means and when combined. Now, I Ching, the thing about I Ching, which I find very powerful, is that there's a Liu Bai Xing. Liu Bai Xing means there is a shade of gray area everywhere. Shade of gray area everywhere means if it's a 大序, there are so many ways to interpret 大序. You can look at it from an image point of view. You can look at it from that's now how I explain about 小序卦 and 大序卦. There's so much gray area, and yet each version of explanation is valid. Okay, each version of the explanation is valid, right? If say, Master, may I know how you match the卦from 26 to 11? Okay, not say match a卦because all these things are transient. Okay, all these things are transient. Unshakable. Unshakable means momentum of success. Remember in AOM, I talk about momentum of success. All right. So I can briefly, quickly, if you have started on this 小序 and you're successful in the 小序, and therefore right now today you have a lot of accumulation of wealth, power, and status, isn't that brings you to this momentum of success already? You start to enjoy massive success. That's why, in short, because I've not shown you all the other subsequent hexagram, so I better show you hexagram that you have learned before. And the best way is to use 地天泰. Okay, so that's why when you have accumulated enough, that's where you will experience momentum of success. And the best way to explain momentum of success is 泰卦. Is that okay? If now, remember this, 满招损. 满招损, 满 means fullness. Fullness. Whenever there's fullness, it will invite. 招 means invite. Invite. And 损 means what? 损 means shaving. Okay, shaving off, depreciation or whatever. Right? So don't go for fullness. I think we talked about that yesterday, and today I reminded you again. I Ching reminded you again in hexagram 26, 三天大序. So hexagram 26, 三天大序 sounds very auspicious, sounds very good, 大序 great accumulation, but as usual, whenever it's auspicious hexagram, I Ching always has a gentle reminder for you to tell you there's a trapdoor. There is a trapdoor, and that trapdoor is you never know what is enough until you know what is more than enough. So in short, in Chinese says, 不要贪得无厌. They mean don't be greedy lah. They never, I Ching never stops you from accumulating wealth. I Ching says, Don't be greedy. That's all. Why? Okay, why? It's because when people know you are greedy, you become an easy victim for those unscrupulous people, especially scammer. Okay, especially scammer. And that is where, if you have learned, if you have attended my AOM3, you would have known, okay, that if you want to use stratagem successfully, you always look out for this telltale sign. Oh, this person that I'm aiming at, okay, very greedy. And in order to get something from him, I can use stratagem 17, I can use stratagem 31. And what is 17? 抛砖引玉. Okay, and what's 31 is 美人计 because greedy, whatever that looks enticing enough, he will grab it. And once he grabbed it, he took the bait, and it will be easily manipulated after that. Okay, so I Ching said, don't be greedy because you can be an easy victim for scammers, especially. Okay, next, 三天大序象辞 means image ah. 天在山中 see 天 this is 天 天 is this one 在山中 okay 山中 means this is mountain 天 we can use sun sun to represent sun. Okay, now let's say the sun is so huge, but this mountain is able to contain the sun. That's how much you have accumulated. Can you imagine that? Okay, so that's why it's called 大序. 君子以多事前贤往行，以续其德. You see, another gentle reminder: if you want to accumulate, don't just go for wealth. Accumulate 德, accumulate 德. Lin said, now you understand. Great. Okay, great. There are so many ways to look at the same hexagram, and each version of explanation is correct. Okay, so here is a gentle reminder. 以续其德. 德 means what? Moral. And where's the best place to learn 德? Type in the chat box, where do you think is the best place or best book to learn 德? Thank you. 道德经. 道德经. Yes. Right? Why is it called 道德经? Since we are on this word here. 道德. 道德. Why is it called 道德 lah? 经 is just a classic lah, on 道德. So what is 道德? Now, 道 means the universe order, the universe principle, the law of everything lah. It's called 道. Okay, 道. So we know that in the universe, if the universe run by this universal order or universal law, in the universe is called 道. 天道, 地道, 人道 is the universal law. Okay, but when we transform this law to apply into human beings, then this law become 德. This law become 德. So basically, if you practice 德, right, you will actually practice the universal law. So that's how Eve was asking how to get aligned with universe. This is one way. Apply 道德经 in your daily living. Why? Because 道, when you apply onto human being, is called 德 already. So whatever 德 that you're doing, right, you're actually practicing the universal laws. As easy as that. Right? So 丰天小序 and 三天大序, just a little bit more before we move on. Is that at this stage, hexagram 9, what you can accumulate basically is your basic necessity. All the basic needs that you need to survive and to grow. Okay, may not be big money, may not be what you may be saving on your, instead of spending $10 per meal, you may say, okay, I only spend $8, $2, I will do saving. That you can only save that much. So be it. So be it. That's why it's called 小序 ma. Okay, so be it. So don't despair because 小序成多. Now, when you can grow all the way to 大序, then I Ching says you already have enough wealth already. You should start accumulating virtue. Virtue means the 德 lah, the moral lah. Okay, start accumulating the virtue. Yeah. Okay, so before we end off this, this is just one quotes here. You can have all the money and power in the world, but they can't buy you moral and integrity. So start accumulating them if you have not done so. Okay, $1 million question. All right, $1 million question. Now, if you, let's say you have accumulated a lot of wealth, power, status, a lot, plentiful, you are practically untouchable. Now, what would you do with your wealth? Lin said, laugh out loud, pay off all dues first. Now, when you are at 大旭卦, I don't think you have dues already. Or dues is sub soya. Or it's never a bother, never a irritation. Right now, maybe yes. But when you're at that stage of 大旭, not a problem. You say donation, helping others, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Donation, give away voluntarily. Okay, Lin say, make myself comfortable while helping others in need. Very good. Okay. Helping others, that means you shave off yourself voluntarily. And I like what Lin say, make myself comfortable. Don't forget to take care of yourself too. Okay? 一辈子你劳碌命 is for the 大序. Now, when you hit there already, hit the stage already, I know you want to help others, but at the same time, don't forget, don't neglect yourself. Why? Because, for those who have learned 八字, right? I think 八字 there's a saying say, 财多身子弱. Okay? 财多身子弱. This is very true. In this 虚卦传, there is a special hexagram that talk about this. 财多身子弱. Okay, so Lin say, yeah, I know, say must take care of myself before I can take care of others. Very good. So remember, don't neglect yourself. But doesn't mean overindulge. Doesn't mean overindulge. Okay, and if you need to take care of yourself, pay attention to the next hexagram. This one, hexagram 27. So I Ching is very well balanced. Not only talk about material possession, you also talk about your health and wellness. And it comes to hexagram 27, San Lei Yi. I think I Ching knows that it's about time that you have accumulated enough already. You should know how to take care of yourself, don't neglect yourself, and therefore plan in this hexagram 27 called nurturing. San Lei Yi. Okay, nurturing. Let's move on. Now, in terms of I Ching, actually the greatest wealth is health lah, not the dollar sign. Not the dollar sign, not the material possession. But it's actually your health. Okay, if say yet to address a question on top, which one? Sorry. Which one? Can you repost again? I thought I've answered already. Okay. You thought that Qua 26 must see Qua 27 and 25 instead. Yeah. By right, you should do that. By left, I Ching, like I say, it is a very gray area. Okay, it leaves a lot of gray area for us to be flexible and to make full use of I Ching in other ways. That's why it's a lot of 留白性 there. They mean a lot of gray area, shade of gray areas that we can really leverage on. That's why, yes, by right, yes, by left, no. Is that okay? Can you accept this answer? That's how powerful I Ching is. This is 留白性 lor. Yes and no lor. 阴阳 language. If say this is very hard to link them up, I know, right? That's why a lot of people give up on learning I Ching. But to me, this is the most powerful aspect of I Ching. Anything goes. That's like we learn I Ching prediction, right? Almost anything goes, right? No rules at all. Even though I lay down rules, but actually there's no rules in I Ching prediction. Because it's all about your connection with the universe energy. Right? Is that okay? If you can accept that, then I think you can grow very far in I Ching learning in your journey. Then take wrongly how you won't go wrong one. As long as you can explain like how I explain, you are there already. Have you ever are you able to find fault with what I say so far? I'm sure there are. Maybe you disagree on certain points that I say. They say, hey, how can that be? It can't be, it doesn't make sense. Okay. But so far, I think by and large, I'm still okay. It makes sense. Right? So therefore, as long as you can connect in that manner, you are there already. If I what do you call that? Last few days, last week, I was having a life frequency analysis with a client, a session with a client, talking about her own life frequency. Okay, and then I picked up a hexagram called 折风大过. You know what's 大过? Major offense. Okay, major offense. So that means this lady, this client, has the energy of 折风大过. Now, even without learning eating prediction or learning life frequency analysis courses, based on AOM, or I've not teach 折风大过. Okay, based on what you understood of 折风大过, how can you map this onto the client? What does it mean by this lady is having a 遮风大过 energy? Maybe you can hold your thoughts, and as we reach to 遮风大过, maybe we can bring this up again. We can discuss. Is that okay? Right? Okay. So the greatest wealth is health. So therefore, I Ching has dedicated a hexagram to talk about wellness, and it is about the art of right eating. Okay, right eating. Now look at this. San Lei Yi. Yesterday, I've briefly mentioned to you about 火雷斯克, right? About a fishbone in the mouth. Can you see this diagram again? There's two yang line here, one top, one bottom. This is as good as the upper lip and the lower lip. Okay, and in between is the kun kwa, right? Is the kun kwa, which can means the hollow space, and which also can means the food. Kun kwa can means the food. If say think twice as will lead to big disaster for major offense. Very good, very good. I'll talk about that later if we got time. Remind me. Okay, I'm sure we have time later. Right, so we can revisit this point here. But let us move on to this nurturing. So San Lei Yi, if you look at this image, it looks something like this: upper lip, lower lip, and in with the space between it are all the food that you take in. That's why it leads on to nurturing or eating right thing. So health is wealth. This I've mentioned that before. Let's look at the 断词. 断词 say 益增吉养增则吉也. Okay, 增吉养增则吉也. So basically, it's reminding us we must 养生. This 养 is actually 养生. Okay, 养生. 养生 means is to how to take care of yourself and to live your life right and bright. Okay, let's move on. So basically, it's telling us living right and eating right. Nurturing is not only applied to eating right, right? No, it can apply to how to bring up a kid, for example. How to bring up a kid, nurture the kid, or nurture maybe a project, or nurture maybe an idea. It's the same. It's the same thing. But I'm now, for the purpose of explaining, I use eating, wellness, to help me explain to you about this hexagram called nurturing, right? And you can use that to apply to any other thing, idea, the child growth, and well-being, all these things. It's the same thing. Okay, so what it says here, continue, is called, 自求口实，观其自养也. 自求口实 means 自己 means yourself. You must go and seek out. Okay, seek out. 口实 means something that is real. You must eat something that is real. A bit funny, right? This word here, 自求口实. You must eat something that is real. And are we eating something that is fake? What do you think? Are we eating something that is fake nowadays? There are. You see how far-sighted this eating is. Processed food, GMO food, or genetically engineered food, and now they have this lab chicken meat, beef, lab creation. All these are not real. All these are not real. Okay, so Yijing said very specifically, 自求口实 is on your own to seek out and eat those real food. Now, how do we know what is real? Plant-based, okay, as long as it's genetically modified out, it's not real. It is not naturally evolved from the nature. Okay, so I'm sure many people will have this kind of question. Then what is considered real? Okay, now Yi Jing, very smart, already predicted this, anticipated this question, and therefore give us explanation. Lin say, yes, plant-based food are not exactly healthy either. As long as it is not naturally evolved from the nature, it is not real. Okay, and Lin said many plant-based companies are backed by meat giants. Exactly. Okay, so based on Yi Jing, what is real, considered real, is 天地养万物。天地养万物. So the universe has already provided us with a lot of, unlimited real food already. As long as they are produced naturally by 天地, means the yin yang energy combined together, like the plant that is being taken care, nurtured by the sunlight, watered by the farmer, nutrition from the soil, all these things. This is called natural. Then those food are okay. Okay, but if you take it out and re-engineer the genes and the DNA, and then say this is also called food, that is fake food already. Okay, so Lindsay, lab grown food, oh my god, we have stooped so low. Exactly. Right, so Yi Jing has given us a very clear explanation. As long as it's naturally evolved from the nature, it is called real food, and anything outside of that definition is called fake food, and we should 自求口实. That's it. And at the same time, not only we need to eat the real food, we must eat it at the right timing. 以之时大以哉，大以哉 means that this is die must have one. Eat at the right timing, eat in the right season, something like that. So therefore, if the dinner time is maybe about 5 to 7, then please have your dinner 5 to 7. Okay, don't wait until 10 p.m. then have your dinner. This is not following the time really. Okay, timely eating. Right. Okay, so for example, certain season say that in autumn 不要进补 but you go and 进补 again, wrong timing. Something like that. So if say, are we supposed to be vegetarian? How about animals? No, we still must respect the food cycle. We still must respect the food cycle. Okay, so if you want to be vegetarian, it's by choice. But I don't think Yi Jing is restricting us to say that we must be vegetarian, because there is something, nature has already created a food cycle. We respect that lah. Is that okay? If you want to be vegetarian, it's by choice. So why is it so important that this histogram is about? Is because if you don't take care of yourself, no matter how much money you have, no use. All this money will be used to take care of your medical fee. Okay, and therefore, illness enters by the mouth, troubles comes out by the mouth. Okay, so 病从口入. So whatever illness that we have, sickness, actually comes is from the things that is entering ourselves. So why is there so many cancer cases nowadays? You think back, you try to trace back. Okay, I'm not trying to conclude anything, but you can trace back on your own. Okay, and then at the same time, because this mouth is so important, it can allow illnesses to come in by what we take in, and we can also allow trouble to get out by what we are saying. Okay, 祸从口出. So because of this hexagram, it actually can branch out into another whole new big topic called the 易经养生. Okay, 易经养生. So basically, it's drink the right water, eat the right food, live the right way. Now, nowadays, all of us are not drinking the real water. In case you have not noticed, but 没变. Okay, we are not drinking the real water. And therefore, because we are not drinking the real water, we are not getting that battery juice from the real water that we need to have. Okay, and that's why a lot of people have this sort of funny kind of symptom and ailment. It's because we are not getting the kind of battery juice. Okay, so what happens when you eat more than you can chew? If it's asking where to get the right water, I'm not sure whether there's still any more right water or not. But in 2019 year end, okay, I held this seminar, annual seminar. I talk about drinking the right water. Okay, and what is actually right water? Same definition. It must comes from nature. It must comes from nature. And what comes from nature? What kind of water comes from nature? Lin said, 天啊, rainwater. Okay, no. Rainwater is unfiltered water. What we want is filtered water that comes from nature. Filtered water that comes from nature. It's called spring water or mineral water. Alamak, pure water from NTUC. For all you know, it could be the what water? New water. And new water is not coming from the nature. It's spring water, or in short called mineral water. But nowadays, how many pure, really pure mineral water company are there? I don't know. Okay, last time I thought this Evian was really very pure. Okay, because they have a lot of regulation around surrounding their source of water. But last few years, I saw a report to say that there, a check was done and a test was done to find that they were actually contaminated also. Lindsay got microplastic lava. Exactly. So nowadays it's very hard to get pure real water unless we have our own well. We dig our own well. Okay. And all those well water, spring water, mineral water, those are naturally filtered already. Naturally filtered. Hard to find, unless you do your own due diligence. Last time I thought even water was good. But after I received that report about contamination, now I also don't know which is the next best alternative really. Seriously, I also don't know. Spring water, Sembawang. Now, Sembawang may have a bit of sulfur element there, so I'm not too sure. But even before the contamination report, yeah, the water was, I thought, to be very pure, straight from the spring. I thought so lah, until the report comes out lah. So really, okay. So Lin say, okay, many people promote Kangen water. Kangen water is what water? Alkaline water? The water filter. Okay. Talking about water filter. Now, why do we want to drink mineral water? Why do we say mineral water is the real deal? Alan say filter water at home also comes from tap water. So how? Yeah, lor. The source is already koyak already, so you go and filter some more. So what are you drinking? Filtered koyak water. You get a point? But we have no choice, right? We have no choice. Yeah, let's skip this kwa. Okay, let's skip this kwa. 遮风大kwa cannot. Okay, so now what happens when you eat more than you can chew is you get major offense. 遮风大过. That means you overdo certain things. Remember just now I talked about the life frequency thing about this lady having 遮风大过. Take note of this hexagram. We talk about this. 遮风大过. So when you overdo certain things, when you eat too much, you land yourself into major offense. 遮风大过. And what is 遮风大过? 大过 means 过错 or 过分. 过错 means you make mistakes, and it's not a small mistake, it's a big mistake or big offense. 过分 can mean excessiveness. Okay, excessiveness. It could be these two possible situations. So look at the 卦辞. It says the roof beam, just imagine the roof beam above us is starting to bend downward. It's no longer straight, but it's starting to bend downward. That is a little of bending means it's already having additional pressure. That's why it's bending downward. but it may not fall, it may not collapse immediately, but it will keep on bending, bending, bending until a point of no return. Okay, until a point of no return. And when it cross that point of no return, it will just collapse like anything. Okay, that's like Hotel New World, right? So yeah, so 大过 is something like this. A roof beam is bending downward, and the key is discovering it as early as you can. Okay, and then take necessary action, nip it at the bud. Okay, nip it at the bud. So how to nip it at the bud? You can always refer back to 1.6, hexagram 1, 乾卦 1.6, or 坤卦 line 1, 离双肩并治, or 地雷复. Okay, remember we talk about 不远复. 不远复 means if you spot something already, quickly U-turn as early as you can. Same thing here. If you spot something is wrong already, excessive already, quickly go and deal with it before it becomes a monster you can't control. This is called 大过. How to overcome 大过 is to discovering it early and take necessary action, nip it in the bud. Now, why so? Leh? If get major decision for a decision or travel not to proceed, yes, can proceed or may not proceed depending on what you are doing, what's the purpose of the trip. But the thing here is don't do excessive. That means don't prolong. Lor. If let's say your business trip is supposed to be 5 days, for example, you don't go and extend to 7 days or 2 weeks. This is excessive already lah. Okay. Now look at this. 折风大过, if you compress it, it become a 坎卦. So therefore, this 折风大过 inherently there's already danger. Okay, inherently there's already danger. Right? Wait, Lin say, how do we interpret the 巽卦 below? 巽卦 means unstable. Okay, by right, this should be your foundation, right? It become unstable, starting to get unstable, and you have a metal to chop this wood some more, so even more unstable. So this unstableness has exceeded the norm. Can follow? Okay, so remember, 折风大过, always remind yourself that is a hidden danger. If you don't nip it at the bud, this 坎卦, this danger inside, will just blow up into a monster you can't control. So you can see 坎卦 as the monster. Deal with it when it's still a baby. Life examples. So this PIE viaduct collapse, right? The engineer knew about the flaws, but chose not to report them. So this engineer already discovered the 大过 already discovered the monster already while it's still baby, but he chose not to deal with it. And what happened? You come to a point of no return. Therefore, when PIE collapsed, the viaduct collapsed, there goes. Okay, it become a board of inquiries. Okay, and I don't know, there could that damages, injuries, or death. I don't know, right? So it's like that. 一发不可收拾, there will be a line, a line of no return. You want to cross, allow it to cross the line, then is anything goes already. Okay. So back to just now that life frequency, the client is holding on to a 折风大过. What can we advise her? What can we advise her? Think about it. Type in the chat box. At the same time, listen to me as I move on with the slides. So, like for example, early this year, US Fed, okay, keep on increasing the interest rate, right? Keep on increasing the interest rate, keep on going so many times already. The intention is to battle inflation. But what happened? Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Okay, and then Signature Bank also collapsed. So it comes to a point that you can increase, but they will add on burden and more burden to stakeholders until a point they cannot bear anymore. Anything goes already. So you can see two bank collapse already, and now they hold their fire. They dare not increase that much and that fast. Okay, so 大过 basically is trying to tell us, if go on, just keep bending the stick, just don't be surprised when you hear the snap. Okay, so remember, everyone and everything has a breaking point. So 要留一点余地. 折风大过 basically means is 留一点余地. Okay, don't push people all the way to the point of no return. They have their own breaking point. You have your own breaking point too. You don't let people to break you, so you don't break other people. So, is that okay? Now, if you fail to comply or to hit this kind of advice and you go and go and chong all the way, like the engineer notice it, discover it, fail to report, allow it to continue until a point of no return, then the next thing we know, it will bring us to the next hexagram, which is hexagram 29, water. And we know water, 坎卦 means danger. And it's double danger now. 坎卦 on top, 坎卦 below. Danger, danger. That's why I put a sign here, danger, high voltage. Yeah, if you allow 折风大卦 to continue, you will hit upon this double danger thing. Now, a lot of I Ching practitioners and masters hated 坎卦, hated 坎卦, right? And inside, in hexagram 3, right, 水雷尊, right? That's now we talk about 水雷尊, hexagram 3, 水雷尊. Okay, this water here, this danger here is coming down towards this plant, this spouting plant, and this is exactly the 坎卦 that we are talking now. Okay, and that's why a lot of people, and especially practitioners and masters, hated 坎卦. Why? Is danger. Every time they see 坎卦, they say it's danger. But is there everything has two sides? I Ching said everything has two sides. So what could be the other side of 坎卦 that is positive one? Is there any positive side to 坎卦? Think about it, Okay, I Ching always say there's always two sides. 一阴一阳之谓道. Thank you, Lin. Wisdom. Very good. Very good. Wow, very good. I like this answer. Wisdom. Okay. Now, meaning, yes, danger, 归 danger. But if you're able to overcome the danger, and when you learn from this danger or challenges, you gain wisdom, you gain insights, you gain experience. There's so much to gain by overcoming 坎卦. So in short, I Ching, when you read up I Ching books, when it comes to 坎卦, they always put it in such a way, 习坎. They just won't talk about 坎, they will say 习坎. So what is 习? 习 can say is 练习的习, mean practice. Okay, 练习的习. It can also means practice. It can also means 习惯, get used to it. It can mean both way. Practice and get used to it. Hey, danger. Practice. Practice what? Danger. Okay. Basically means accept it. In life, you have plentiful of life challenges. Accept it to be the truth, to be the universal law. So once you accept it, means you just have to learn to live and deal with life challenges. This is called 习坎. Get used to it. Get used to it. Even you have cleared one hurdle today, tomorrow you can expect another 坎 to show up. This is life. Deal with it. Okay. And at the same time, in order for you to better deal with it, you must learn how to practice 坎. Okay, practice 坎, 习坎. In short, it's called resiliency. We have gone through SARS. We have gone through H1N1. And 2020 comes along COVID-19. Those who have put in this practice, this resiliency, those countries, they are in a better position to deal with COVID-19 than those who did not. That is the main purpose of called 习坎. Can follow? Show you examples, live examples. That's why, if you're working in any building, right, you find that building will always have fire drill. Okay, fire drill. Why? It's for you to practice, and practice until you, it's no big deal. Fire drill, lor. Okay. But when the real fire comes out, at least you know where's the escape route, where's the escape path, where's the assembly point, things like that. So, yeah, you need SOP, you need contingency plan. Is for you to practice. Now, if you have plan is one thing, practice it is another thing. Singapore government, very on with this anti-terror exercise, right? You have this North Star 1, North Star 2, North Star 3, everything. Why? What's the purpose? Is to practice, and practice so that when the can really comes along, they know how to deal with it. At least they have a drawer plan to deal with it. Okay, but they still need to adjust the plan. Okay, so we just have to learn, no, deal with it, so when come COVID, we need to use new gadgets, new devices. So be it, deal with it. Okay, learn to live and deal with the wrath of the COVID-19. Right now, with this, let me bring you back to AOM1 again. You see, you always see the similar pattern coming out again and again and again. It's like 换汤不换药, but in a different context now. Okay, so it's like in order to have resiliency, right, you cannot start from hexagram 30. Cannot. Okay, cannot. Why? Because this idea of resiliency was already mooted way back at the beginning. It says here to be mindful of possible danger in time of peace. Okay, you need to have business continuity plan, you need to have contingency plan, you need to have emergency reserve, whatever you need to have for you to have resiliency, just do it. It could be your own business, it could be your own company that you're working for, or it could be for your own personal life or your family. If you need to build up resiliency, do so that when cons come along, you know how to deal with it. So, for example, how many of you have a ready bag at home right now? When I say ready bag, means if let's say there's a fire outbreak at your block and you're being asked to evacuate, do you just run out like that, empty-handed? Okay, or do you have a bag already? Maybe all your certificate or whatever things are all there already. You need to run, you just pull the bag and run. Something like that. Okay, so there are different ways to be prepared lah. I'm just saying that ready bag is just one of them lah. Okay, so resiliency, this eating is all about resiliency, and this idea of resiliency was planted way back already. Okay, so there's no perfect plan to start with, but it's good to have a drawer plan, and it's good to have not only a drawer plan but to practice on the drawer plan and improve. That's why we have exercises from time to time, is to test and validate the plan. If it cannot work because certain conditions have changed, improve it. Okay, the trapdoor is like this, complacency. You see, complacency comes out again. Complacency means that you think that you have this drawer plan and this drawer plan will remain valid for every circumstances, then you are wrong. Condition change, the plan may not work anymore. So you need to have test and test and test and then improve on it. So 坎过 can means a river lah, water lah, ocean lah. So there's a phrase here: a river cuts through the rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Correct, right? Okay, 道德经 talk a lot about 坎过 because there's a lot of wisdom that Lao Tzu pull out from 坎过 to phrase it into a learning lessons for us to learn and apply in our life. Okay, and one of it is called this one: a river cuts through the rock not because of its power, but because of its persistency. Same thing. Resiliency is like a river that cuts through crisis not because of its power, but because of its persistency. It's the same thing. Now, if we keep on 洗坎, means practice, get used to it. Okay, get used to challenges, life challenges and things like that, disasters and whatever. And then if you can do that, whenever we come across danger, disasters, we will pull through because we have a drawer plan. That's like, Singapore through this COVID-19, we pull through it. All right. So with this, it leads us to the next hexagram, meaning if we have all this in place, resiliency, we will always see light at the end of the tunnel. And that leads us to hexagram 30 called fire. Isn't it so? Suddenly, the sky suddenly, COVID-19, the sky suddenly become very clear. Like no more COVID, normal outside. Okay, so let's talk about this hexagram 30. And once we're done with this, we can go for a break. Okay, 离为火 means this is two fire, double fire. Double fire means lights lah, and this light is very bright. Suddenly the sun comes out already lah. No longer dark like water like that. Okay, now there's a lesson learned. I think COVID-19 comes very timely because it really brings out how this 虚卦传 works. Really, If you want to learn Xu Gua Zhuan very well, look at COVID-19 experience, right? So for example, now we have gone through this COVID-19, yeah, we have gone through this Kan Gua, okay? And when we are finally out of danger, let me ask you, if let's say you are drowning, and when you are just about to be completely lost already, someone throw you a float lah. Okay, someone throw you a float and you manage to grab the float and you manage to push yourself safely to shore, to land. Okay, now what's the first thing you do once you get out safely and you stand up safely? What do you do? Type in the chat box. Let me repeat the scenario. You were drowning. Okay, and then when you think things was hopeless already, someone throw you the float, you manage to grab the float and you grab the float, you kick yourself back to the shore. Okay, and then when you finally get up, what do you do? What's the first thing you do? If say, Master, 砍过, despite we practice and practice, but 人算不如天算, what shall we do? Adjust the plan. Like I say, there's no perfect plan, but at least you have a drawer plan. But every pandemic is different, right? Every pandemic is different. In 2003, we have SARS. In 2009, we have H1N1. And in 2020, we have COVID-19. All are different, but we have a contingency plan, okay? And this plan, by and large, is the same, but we just need to adjust here, adjust there. Previously, the plan was saying, if you are well, don't wear mask. That was the plan all the while. If you are well, don't wear mask. They just pull out the plan and they just execute the plan and they tell the whole nation, say, if you're well, don't wear mask. But you find that for COVID-19, it doesn't work this way. So they have to 不远赴. 不远赴 means, okay, means if you find that this policy is wrong, you better reverse the decision. And this is what the government did. In the end, they flipped to say, no, everybody wear mask. You get my point? If there won't be a perfect plan, but you just, at least you have a draw plan to work on with, and then you adjust along the way. In Chinese, in I Ching text, it's called 阶段性的调整. Can you follow? If Lin say express gratitude and Alan say breathe as much, I'm sure we will express gratitude, we will breathe as much. Okay. Now, have you forgotten something? Have you forgotten something? If we can get 砍卦 for relationship and decision, can we continue or not? You have to be careful, lor. There will be problems, lor. But you just have to get used to the problem and have a SOP lah. When this problem comes out, how do you deal with it? When that problem comes out, how do you deal with it? Of course, that is provided you have taken the decision to say, let's proceed with the relationship. That means you go in with both eyes open. Nobody is forcing you to go into a relationship, but if you choose to go into a relationship, then you're going in with both eyes open. And when problem really comes out, you cannot blame anyone else. You cannot blame your partner. You cannot blame yourself. You cannot blame Tian. You cannot blame Ti because you make the choice with both eyes open. Okay, now for those who have stepped out safely onto shore, have you forgotten about the float? Totally forgotten about the float. Did anyone of you forgotten or did anyone remember about the float? This is what happened in Li Gua in most circumstances to most people. They forgot the very thing that saved their life. For example, in this case, is the float. They forgot that this float could save someone else's life too. Okay, so at Li Gua, Li means Li Kai. The moment you're safe, you straight away leave already. That's not the right way. Okay, that's not the right way according to I Ching. You should not just 拍拍 pigu and then leave, right? We should that means the right authority and the right department you should put things back to normalcy. Normalcy means you should take back the float, put back at whatever it should be, so that the next victim can really use that float to save their own life. Okay, so same thing for COVID-19. You need to have a post-mortem. You need to stop back the mask. You need to stop back the thermometer. You need to stop back whatever thing that you need to stop back, so that we are again prepared. We are in the preparedness state again, right? So 离过 doesn't mean 拍拍屁股的离开 Okay. So yeah, so this is what it means. When we recover from disasters, we must put things back to normalcy, okay, and to be in that preparedness state again, and then do a post-mortem and see how we can improve the plan. Okay, how we can improve the plan. So right now, I think due to COVID-19, Singapore has adjusted the economic the what call it, the industry part, whereby they are inviting big boys to come in, big pharma boys to come in to make vaccine in Singapore. Okay, instead of buying from elsewhere, where like Taiwan, they can stop the mask from coming back to Singapore. We are inviting big boys in Singapore to say, hey, set up your shop here lah. You can create vaccine here. Oh. So it is what's 卦 离卦 hexagram 30. So the idea about this 离卦 is after you have come out from the danger safely, we should make effort to return to normalcy and go back to the state of preparedness for the next disasters. Okay? So for example, maybe COVID-19, maybe government may be thinking, or HDB could be thinking, hey, next time round, if we have COVID-19 again, and if we have to have circuit breaker and everybody work from home, is the current house enough or not? Should we do something for future houses? You get my point? So this should be something in their mind, and this should be something that they should ponder upon. And at the same time, you also notice for those who have what I call that, come up from the disasters, survive from the disasters, you notice some of them, they start to become a changed person, and they start to share their experience, and they set up a support group for other similar victims. For example, maybe a cancer survivor, they will join certain community and they start to share their experiences, positive sharings lah. And for example, I think there's a national serviceman got into an accident whereby I think his leg were amputated. All right, and then now I think he's going around to share, become a coach, motivation coach, something like that, right? So yeah, this is about 离卦, to shine the light on other people who need the light also. So you have seen the light, so help others to see too. Okay, so this is also 离卦. So there are two aspects of 离卦. One is to return back to normalcy, and number two is to help people see the light that you have seen, right? So for example, during COVID-19, Taiwan was okay at the earlier stage, and that's why she was able to donate 7 million more masks to other countries that need the mask. Oh, this is called sharing lah, 离卦 sharing. Okay, I can skip this. Right? Okay, so with this, I've covered up to hexagram 30. Half of it. We have another half to go. Okay, so for now, I think it's 3:48. I think you all must be overwhelmed and tired already. So let's go for a 10-minute break. Right, 10-minute break. So be back on time and we can start the second half of the lesson. Yeah, I'll start a timer and I will see you back in 10 minutes time. See you.